Hey, Miss Falivena. Hey, Rowan. I want to say Merry Christmas, because, Christmas. But also, I have some words of wisdom for Rowan, and I have some appreciation and thanks for you. First, going to you, Miss Falivena. I wanted to say, I don't know where to start. I want to say so many things. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of my life, even after elementary. Um, Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting in my judgment and in my decisions in school and supporting me outside of school as well. Um, there's so many things, but the most important one is you never doubted who I was, and you never really had a bias towards me in any way, you know? And you were always there to support me, and you were always there to say, you know what, Nick, you can do this better. You can try it like this. Like, you have to think a little bit more in depth or more critical, you know? And you sort of let me be who I was. Even though at the time I didn't know who I was. I was just figuring out who I was becoming. But you were like, okay, I'm gonna give him some room to become, the flower that he wants to be, blossom into whatever he wants. And he never really had any restraints on me. You sort of let me speak what I wanted to speak in the classroom, and you let me do some of the things I wanted to do for projects. And I was like, wow, that's a cool teacher, because I never had one like that up until that point. But also, I wanted to say I'm thankful and appreciative that you were like my second mom, because you were there when I needed it, as well as you always supported me. You always said, you know what, Nick, you're doing good. Like, I remember when the bat attack happened, and I was a little bit down or a little bit frustrated, and you said, you know what, even though that happened, you must realize that you're no different than who you are. You're still the same person. You're still human. You're stronger than you were before. And I said, huh. And I thought about it. I took some time to think about it. And you were right. I was like, wow. And then also when I hurt my shoulder, and I had that issue, and you were like, I remember one time in class, you were like, see, Nick has his shoulder injury, but he still chooses to participate. He still plays. He still keeps going. And you were like, why can't, and you said to the other kids, why can't you do that? And I said, I didn't know I was making a difference, or proving a point, I guess. I didn't know that. And when you took me to the LGBTQ plus conference, I was like, yo, what is this? This is so cool, And I was like, wow. And I met so many different people, and I was so amazed about all the different things you can be. And I'm so happy that you felt comfortable taking me there and saying, you know what, you can, look at this community. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is cool. And also having so much faith and trust in me to take care of Rowan. I remember the first time you were like, hey, could you babysit? And I was like, really? And you're like, yeah, I trust you. And I was so freaked out. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do. What if I do something bad? I was so scared. I was so nervous. I remember showing up that day, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was freaking out. And then I saw Rowan. I was like, oh man, he's so young. Oh my goodness, what if something goes wrong? Then I won't be a good student. I would have messed up. And then you're like, Nick, relax. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. You got this. I said, oh, okay. And then you had faith, and you trusted me enough to take care of Rowan. And you still do. And I really appreciate that, because it takes a lot to let someone into your home and be like, you can, look after my child, and I trust you enough to look after my child. And I'm really happy that I was able to earn that trust. And I'm also really happy that I'm able to be a part of your family So thank you, Miss Falivena, for everything. I really appreciate it. You're like a second mother to me. I love you with all my heart. And thank you for all the opportunities you gave me. Now, Rowan. Hey, Rowan, it's me. What do I gotta say? I got some good stuff to say. So, good thing to say, number one. Actually, no, I have many. But, like, good thing to say is that first time I met you, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, what happens? What do I do? And the first thing you ever said to me was, you wanna go play video games? Like, with a straight face. I said, what? Really? You're like, yeah, I wanna go play video games. I said, sure. We played video games and you beat me, and I was like, yo, this kid's like me. He's so good at video games. He's so skilled and so like professional, so mature. I'm like, how can this be? And then we played Fortnite, and then we got some wins. I was like, yo. And then I had to make you a sandwich, right? And then I was making you a sandwich. And you asked what you wanted, and you said, I want ham, I want lettuce, I want tomatoes, I want this and that. And then I remember I was cutting the tomato, and you said, that's good. And it was half the tomato. I said, Rowan, you can't just eat half the tomato. They said, why not? And I'm like, Rowan, and I got 2 pieces of bread. I put the tomato in there, and the tomato was like, psh, like that. It was just like so huge. And you were like, oh. So then I asked you, what do you think? And you're like, yeah, I think you could cut the tomato. I said, exactly. And then we had a good day from there. And I got to know you more. We got to hang out more, and you're a really cool and great guy. I know that you've had to deal with some things, and I know that you've had to deal with the pandemic and deal with the year 2020. It hasn't been easy, but like every time I look at you, I always think, wow, this kid is gonna do something so amazing one day. Like you just have like this spark. You have this spark in you, Rowan. It's like, doesn't matter what the challenge is, doesn't matter if it's in video games, if it's in, phys ed, if it's in math, if it's in whatever. You have this ability to be like, you know what, I don't care what the challenge is, I'm gonna go head first, we're gonna conquer this thing straight on, and not a lot of kids at your age have that ability. A lot of kids are like, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back, but you're like, you know what, even though I might not know what it is, I'm gonna keep going, keep pushing, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna have fun, and that's a great quality to have, and in the future, that's going to pay off so much because you're going to be doing something and you're going to be having fun, but also working hard at the same time. So Rowan, I just know that I'm thankful to have you in my life, but also you're going to be a cool guy, and you are a cool guy. But when you become older like me, you're going to do so many great things, and you're going to be so good, and you're going to make it big. Trust me, like you have that mindset, you have the mentality, you have the ability to like tell people stories that blow their minds. You have like a way to like interact with people and make a good connection. And not so many people have that, So you're gonna do good, you're gonna do amazing. And remember to keep going where your heart tells you to go. I remember always listen to your mom. That's very important. I still listen to mine. And so they're very wise. Anyway, Miss Falivena, Rowan, I wanted to say I love you guys, I care about you, and have a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a good year in 2021. See ya!